Questions for Honor Huff, Harlan, Obioha, and Brenen Lorient.
So, Harlan, ever since they rolled out the carpet, it looked like your energy was through the roof. Did you feel like you were playing with a chip on your shoulder? You wanted to get that win? What was it?
Yeah, I think so. Just coming out and trying to play better. Had a pretty tough stretch of games lately that I feel like I've let down my team, let down my brothers. So it's more really about just trying to get back to me and being me.
Harlan, Kansas was leading the Big 12 in defensive rebounding. You get 6 offensive boards. Just why were you able to do that?
I think just opposing my will early in the game. They have a great post over there. Flory had a lot of success in the Big 12. And I think just, trying to be physical with them as early as I can. So then when we start getting to those late game situations, you kind of feel the wear on them, feel kind of slow down a little bit. So.
You cashed in a couple of those. What does that do for the offense when you get second chances?
I mean, I think my teammates get more excited than me after some of those big shots, so just to be able to get them going, keep building on our momentum, I think those are just kill shots, I feel like, especially in that type of fashion, I will be honest. So I just think building on the momentum we already had or creating that momentum is what those shots do, and then obviously having my teammates rally around it is big time. It just shows the camaraderie we have as a group.
Or do you realize where you were on the court on some of those shots?
No. I just know, Coach has a lot of confidence in me, so you can hear him in the back. He'll be like, bang it. He always says, like, bang it. So when I came off the one screen on the N13, he was like, shoot it, let it go. And, I mean, I've worked at this since I was a kid, so I just know the touch I have to put on each shot.
Brenen, you had 16 in the first half there. It seemed like right after you made your second three, you seemed a lot more comfortable. You kind of got in the rhythm more. What was really working for you in that first 20 minutes?
I feel like anybody that gets a couple good looks early, it can definitely translate to later on in the game, just being able to just continue being aggressive and just trusting the game plan.
What was the message at halftime? You guys are down 4, you come out, and it just completely flips. What was the message from Coach?
I think the message was just we got to play better. I mean, there was, in more words, that's what he was saying. We just had to play better. He felt like we should have been up by a lot at that point. We had been playing good enough defense, but just grabbing loose balls. We came into the game trying to make 50-50 balls, 100% balls, and in the first half, we weren't doing that.
Added on, I think just executing the game plan defensively. We were scoring, obviously, so we were efficient too. So it was just more about stopping them from scoring. I think we did a way better job in the second half of kind of cutting their water off a little bit more than we'd had in the first half.
Guys, I think Peterson had like one field goal in the second half. Can you talk about your defense on him? Was it something you guys wanted to focus a little more on, or just shutting him down? Or
I mean, that's gonna be everybody's plan. I mean, he's a projected #1 pick, so he has a lot of savvy to his game. And shout out Jasper. I mean, that was his assignment. I think he did a good job, especially in the second half, of being where he needed to be early in the gap and getting out to him and causing havoc on his game plan of what he wanted to do, and very disruptive.
Harlan, you mentioned kind of going back to you being you. Some of that just being aggressive.
Yeah. I think it's looking to score more when I get it down low and not overthinking anything. I think it's, being a guy who can get 6 offensive rebounds a game. That's just something, I've been able to do throughout my career. So just going back to just being a junkyard dog and just doing what I've done my whole career.
That explain the reverse layup, right? I mean, there were things that you kind of showed tonight that you probably haven't shown.
Yeah. I think that was just, B-Lo had even told me right before we ran that play, because that was the look. And he had told me, just go up and finish it. Don't think about nothing else. Like, you're the one that's going to go score this one. So I think just like that confidence that these guys instill into me every week, every day, it's starting to build, and I'm starting to feel it on the court a lot more.
You were talking about the physical play with you and Flory. I think there was one point in the first half where he kind of caught you in the throat a little bit. I don't think it was on purpose or anything, but it didn't seem to bother you a whole lot. Maybe added fuel to your fire. I mean, was this just kind of a fun game for you to play in?
Yeah, I think that kind of goes back into what I just talked about, just being myself. Coming in through college, I've always had to be like a tough guy. You get hit, you're expected to get right back up as a 7-footer. Like, you're the strong force on the team. So I think, taking a little bump on the throat, unless it's breaking my leg or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to try and get back up for these guys any way I can, as fast as I can, and not show any type of weakness.
On the 2 possessions when Jasper backed him down to the paint and converts, when he's drawing attention like that, what does that do for you and just kind of the way that they're, not able to, I guess, plug in on you the way they hope to?
It's funny you said that because last game he didn't take a shot, and we kind of joked about it after the fact. And I talked to him because before practice yesterday, he kind of grabbed me. He was like, "I don't think people have given you enough credit for your defense on Day Thomas." And I told him, I was like, "Well, next game, can you shoot some shots?" Golly. So we kind of joked about that before practice yesterday. And after the game today, I told him, like, when you're not, I'm not gonna say aggressive, but looking to assert yourself a little bit more on the offensive end, it opens it up for everybody. And then, he's able to kick it out for a 3. So it just, when he's playing like that, I mean, he was plus 19. He had the highest plus minus today. Like, when he's our leader, he's our captain. So when he's being able to, like I said, assert his dominance on the offensive end, it opens up everything for all of us, including me.
Harlan, in regards to this win, what does this win do for this team now? I know it's an emotional win, but now you got Houston next. What does this win in this moment mean for this team?
Nothing more than just knowing that we can do it. I think we want to enjoy the moment really quick. It's not something you do every day being a ranked team, but I think we want to turn right around and get ready for this next game. We want to take this game at Houston. So I think that's our worry right now. That's our next objective. That's the thing we got to be best at next.
How important was it for you guys? You've had a few stretches of games in the non-conference against these power opponents. How important was it that you guys finally got one to finish, and you got to finish on top?
Nah, it definitely feels good. Earlier in the season, we dropped a couple games, and the narrative around our team was a little different, but it just definitely feels good to be able to go out there, showcase, and in those tough moments, just prevail.
Brenen, what kind of impact did the crowd have in the second half?
Man, the fans were amazing. You could just feel how some of the players were looking over to their coach. They didn't know what they're running, what they were calling on defense, and that definitely gave us an advantage towards the end of the game to get the job done.
Thanks, everyone.